Hey everybody, excuse me. I was just taking a drink. I think I got my hair still wrapped up in the. I can't tell microphone or whatever. Yeah. All right, y'all. Let me just say, excuse me. Um, you will hear background noise because it's only 10 minutes to 8, and it's a Friday night. So we're gonna we're gonna just y'all just live with it. What is happening in Canton, Massachusetts? I mean, it's like there's nobody in any capacity that can do anything. Is there nobody? Because what we're seeing here is some very, very I mean, the bias it has been going on since the first trial. The main question that everybody has, and if I would have been sitting on the jury, I would have been able to argue a lot of points that would have given people nothing but doubt. Because that's all that Brennan showed us was not Brennan. Lord, Lally showed us was reasonable doubt. There was reasonable doubt that he even knows who, in fact, killed Officer John O'Keefe. You have them blaming Karen Reed for backing her car into him, yet nobody can understand why it's important to have a record, a visual record of her taillight before anyone there was able to be near it, touch it. I mean, it's just amazing, right? And it's okay that they didn't turn over all of their video footage from the Sally Port back in 2022 simply because nobody knew where it was, except a few people did know where it was and somebody downloaded it at some point, but we're not sure at what point because it oddly had a backup and was safe for a while. So that's Brennan. Anything that Beverly sees going on that Brennan points out against the defense, she's fine with. But when the defense is trying to say anything and point out any discrepancies as to her behavior and her rulings on what the Commonwealth does, well, she just demands a million questions: when, where, how, why. Like she's got a corn cob up her you know what. And everybody is so happy to announce that the FBI has closed their investigation. You know, it's too bad that you crooked jerks had any idea the FBI was looking into anything because I would really like to be a fly on the wall in your police department and to see what is going on with your troopers. Let alone, we all know that your chief of police, she's borderline crooked. The whole town has been wanting to get rid of her, but even though the town was begging to not renew her, they did so anyway. So we have that. Now we have Brennan and all of his accusations. But Brennan, I would like to ask you, who started with the publicity? Who started with putting crap out there? And might I also add, it was not correct, or it should have been kept for the courts because you went on TV and told everybody that you're right, basically, and Karen Reed's defense team or Karen Reed's defense is wrong. You vouch for your witnesses. You stand proud. And you're not talking about wanting the truth. You're talking about wanting to get Karen Reed and wanting to clear the McAlberts and for people to stop bullying them. Well, bully them? They are they're slime. They Chris Albert actually said he could what was it to Turtle Boy beat his head in the concrete or the ground or I don't know. But I mean, Chris Albert, heck, he killed a man 20 years ago and only had to serve 6 months in prison or jail, wherever he was. I'm sure it was a comfortable stay for him. But that's okay, right? He even ran. Yeah. What was it, 30 hours? Yeah. So let's talk about the Commonwealth, shall we? Okay, so I just want to say that with everything that's going on, what mainstream media chooses to pick up and put out there, where do you people get your information? Does anybody investigate? Does anybody give their, I mean, can you not who writes this stuff? So much has been happening and nobody was around for that. I can't even remember the things that I thought, "Oh my god, y'all should have a heyday with it." But you don't. Mainstream media doesn't. This is not reaching the people that need to see it or that even care or that can even fix it. But bear with me and let me just, this is only like uh, just a few minutes and I got a lot to say.
Let's start with the Karen Reed trial at 5:30. The debate over free speech has been a major theme throughout the case. That includes the rights of her supporters to protest outside the Denham courthouse, as well as the rights of her attorneys to speak on the front steps. NBC 10's John Maroney joins us live from Denham tonight with a look at how the First Amendment is impacting the second trial. John.
Glenn, it's certainly not the most important issue, but free speech has been at the center of some recent headlines, including a call for a gag order.
No comment. Mr. Jackson, let me ask you after the attack. Keep it moving. Let's go. Keep it moving.
Karen Reed and her entourage leaving court without a peep.
No comment.
It's unusual, but could become the norm if her attorneys are slapped with a gag order.
There are ethical prohibitions on lawyers, in essence, trying their cases in the press as a means of trying to influence or prejudice the jury pool.
Judge Beverly Cannoni is now considering a request from prosecutors to stop the defense from talking about the case outside the courtroom. The order wouldn't apply to the defendant.
The ongoing, deliberate, purposeful poisoning of the potential jury pool is not only wrong and unfair.
Given the state's legal tradition regarding free speech in televised court proceedings, gag orders are rarely used. But NBC 10 legal analyst Michael Coyne says it's not out of the question in this case.
I could see some form of limited gag order coupled with some minor sanctions.
Another win for the First Amendment? I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, we're going to beat this one way or another.
Aidan Carney, a.k.a. Turtle Boy, was in court Thursday, accused of intimidating witnesses in the Karen Reed case. The blogger was ordered to stay 100 yards away from them and a pizza shop owned by one of the witnesses. He was released on personal recognizance.
Okay, so let me just stay right here. You know, I'm gonna say I've been on this earth for almost 7 decades, and Aiden for somebody my age is so he's a little rough. He's a little rough, um, but his knowledge, that's where it is. He's got the knowledge. I can understand why he is angry at some of the people that he's angry at. I can understand why he actually uses the word hate, that he hates some of these people because of how they've done him. But I want to explain this. So, why he did it, who knows? Who knows? What I'm going to guess is I do know this. I do know he went out with friends the night before his trial here and had a plate of food at McCarthy's, I believe it was. I believe they also went to the Waterfall Bar. Now, and next door to McCarthy's is it's the worst pizza you could even imagine, I'm sure. That's just my thought process after, seeing how this person treats women or anyone who disagrees with him, or even a citizen who has an issue and they want to say something to him. And it's a pizza shop next door to McCarthy's, and I really don't want to even say the name because I'd hate to give it any kind of anybody having, go in there and spend any money. From what I understand, though, McCarthy's has some killer fries. Awesome, according to Aiden. So, I believe that they were kind of having a good night on the town, and Aiden knows that there is a camera in Chris's window. But according to him, and I don't know that I haven't checked this and I don't know the laws, but Aiden says that you cannot record someone in Massachusetts. It's a two-party state to use audio. So he had absolutely not a clue his voice was being recorded anywhere. And I have to say that I am quite surprised that whatever he said, I don't know the specifics, but if you listen to Aiden on his, is Aiden Turtle Boy, Dr. Turtle, but if you listen to him talk and do his lives, um, what he said on Chris Albert's cam, video cam at the store while people were recording his voice, which are y'all following him and got somebody with a recorder now? I mean, is that what you're doing? Anyway, um, was pretty mild compared to his thoughts and what he says on his show, actually. I mean, all he's doing is asking the people to say the truth. That is not witness intimidation. I'm sorry, but who in America would ever think that's witness intimidation? And no, he's not saying tell the truth as he sees it. He's saying tell the truth as it is. Tell the truth as it is, because those people have done nothing but lie. They lied to the grand jury. I mean, how in the hell do you get a case to go to trial on hearsay? Literally on hearsay. It is because of the phone game. I heard Karen Reed say, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. Now, supposedly, those are the words that she uttered while running around frantic, out of her mind, making absolutely no sense after finding her boyfriend, John O'Keefe, laying in the snow dead. As far as she thought, he was dead. That's what it looked like. I mean, your mind goes to it. You come in, you look at him, and he's got blood on his face, and he's laying in the snow. He's cold to the touch. What else do you think? Now she's past hysterical. So, and the first thing that I would like to say right here is people can't hold you accountable for anything that you say in that frame of mind. I have, uh, you just can't. So I'll hush because I can keep going. But I just wanted to say it's all a bunch of BS. And I mean, after all, Chris Albert, he, claiming to be afraid of Aiden Carney. Really? He's claimed we've got some video for that because I went nuts when that happened. But that's not really why I'm so burnt up over this right now. Let's just go a little bit further.
You mentioned the First Amendment. Once again, the Commonwealth, has nothing but scorn for the First Amendment in this county. I don't know what it is. I think they need a seminar.
Now, in other developments, we learned the prosecution will be able to call a dog bite expert. It's someone that the defense had been trying to keep off the stand. Well, I've been Dedham, John Roney, NBC 10 Laws.
College students will be studying this case.
All right, that's it right there. Channel 10 News. Boston, Channel 10 News is putting out that Judge, I hate calling her a judge. I mean, it's just, I don't care. The person that wears a robe that sits in the courtroom and presides over Karen Reed's court proceedings is actually allowing a dog behavioral specialist to testify. Dog behavioral specialist, not a dog bite expert. There's a big difference. Big, huge difference. I mean, it's like a behavioralist is going to tell you how they act in certain ways, and all dogs are different. So, gotta love that one, right? Even if you train them, you can get one that's going to go off on its own and be something that it's not supposed to be doing. But let's not go there. Dog bite expert, my behind. Okay, he's not a dog bite expert, although the person in the black robe likes to say that I guess she's calling him a dog bite expert, right? Where in the world? Where do you get off with this crap? And why aren't you people reporting big stuff? I mean, it's not the fact that she's letting this person testify. It's that the person testifying is, in all honesty, even the Commonwealth in the first trial said about comparing dog bites to, and they don't even know, but the dog bites to the skin and you can't match it up. And guess what? That's called junk science because there's too many things to take into account to be able to even say that. So, and a gag order now, a gag order. Well, you know what? Somebody somewhere has got to pay attention to what's going on in Canton, Massachusetts, because this is just getting out of control. I know that we have laws, but I thought they were to protect the people. I am not seeing anything in the Canton, Massachusetts situation for the benefit of the defense. But if the Commonwealth speaks and they don't even have a motion on this, not even in any paperwork, she just listens to them, asks questions, and just whatever they say. Lady, you have some nerve. You really do. And I know that you don't watch me, and you'll get up on that bench and you'll act like that. And you think that you're just all knowing. Well, who cares? You have got no morals. You have got no integrity. I'm speechless. A dog bite expert? My arse. Okay, so now we have this is a crooked DA in my opinion. He even looks like a sleaze bag. These are a lot of yes boys. Who are they being yes boys for? Somebody needs to find that out. Who are these people protected by? That's the question, and why. Okay, and maybe that's why Hankey's here. I heard that didn't he represent somebody on that side of the world, in the mob world or whatever? I don't know. But why don't we listen to what the DA said? This is the DA in the case. In August 25th of 2023, prior to the hearing of Karen Reed, prior to Karen Reed going to trial for murder, let's listen to what the DA said on national TV. Let's just listen, why don't we?
This will be the first statement of its kind in my dozen years as Norfolk District Attorney. The harassment of witnesses in the murder prosecution of Karen Reed is absolutely baseless. It should be an outrage to any decent person, and it needs to stop. Innuendo is not evidence. False narratives are not evidence. However, what evidence does
Innuendos are not evidence. Really? False narratives are not evidence. Are you sure? Because right now we have a lot of illusions going on by Brennan and Mr. That's all you folks got is illusions and narratives. If Karen Reed would have backed into Officer John O'Keefe, you would have 1,000 pictures of that back right taillight from the moment you could see it. That is number one. And you slime bags think that you can cover it up or say, "Oh, well, you should have asked." Well, when you're calling the car a murder weapon, I would think that you have pictures of it from every side, every angle, and that tail light would have had at least a whole roll. Well, we don't rolls of camera, but you would have taken snap after snap after snap after snap of pictures. Do you not comprehend that? Where's the proof? Sorry.
Show is that John O'Keefe never entered the home at 34 Fairview Road in Canton the night he died. Location.
No, there is no proof. The proof is that his cell phone does say he was moving, except y'all had some lallygag who doesn't know what he was doing on the stand saying that he was riding in a car and it was on uh, hilly road. Of course, what is Karen Reed's? Well, I don't think she. I don't have my life thing on. I don't know that everybody does, but they were in two different places, I guess, at the same time, but in the same car. But yet it shows him going in. Oh, and it also was walking around in Proctor's pocket for a while. And your office tried to say that the reliability of it wasn't right. No, the reliability of it was fine. It's just that after John O'Keefe was deceased, Proctor, because he's a Proctor was walking around with it in his pocket. Do you comprehend that? Sick goat.
Data from his phone, recovered from the lawn beneath his body when he was transported to the hospital, shows that this phone did not enter that home. 11 people have given statements that they did not see John O'Keefe enter the home at 34 Fairview that night. 0 people have said that they saw him enter the home. 0. No one.
Okay, 0 people. 0. No one. We're talking about people that were over at Brian Albert's home. Did you go across the street, next door, down the road? Did anybody get surveillance cameras from anybody else? Oh, right. You didn't do that, right? You just didn't think about it. You didn't think about it. Oh, stop. Nobody saw Karen Reed hit him with her car either.
Some have, without any evidence, pointed to 18-year-old Colin Albert, a nephew of the homeowner, and accused him of attacking John O'Keefe as he entered the home. But phone evidence shows O'Keefe never entered the home at all. Testimony.
They tried to paint Colin Albert as a choir boy. He's a big mouth, smart ass, training to be goon is what he is. Never seen anybody dumber than a rock sitting on that stand. Don't give us that shit. He's scared. I mean, he's been drinking since what? He was 15 or so. I'm gonna guess because they all know to have designated drivers. The teenagers are all out drinking, know to have designated drivers, and the parents they were all out drinking and drove home, and that's okay. God, you people! Oh my gosh!
From witnesses tell us that 18-year-old Colin Albert had left his uncle's home before John O'Keefe and Karen Reed had arrived outside the residence. There was no fight inside that home. John O'Keefe did not enter the home.
There was no fight inside that home. John O'Keefe did not enter the home, nor did the DA or the police or the troopers think to even look inside the home. I mean, heck, everybody inside the home could have been deceased and nobody would have known because nobody thought it was odd that there's a man laying out on the front yard, dying, almost dead in the snow. Right? Remember, folks, this is August of 2023.
Colin Albert, the young man being vilified, was not present when Reed's vehicle and John O'Keefe arrived on the street. This is a false narrative.
False narrative.
Colin Albert didn't commit murder. Jennifer McCabe, Matthew McCabe, and Brian Albert. These people were not part of a conspiracy and certainly did not commit murder or any crime that night. They have been forthcoming with authority, providing statements, and have not engaged in any cover-up.
Hey, I'd say forthcoming, wouldn't you? Forthcoming. His friend, someone who thinks of him as family, calls 911 and says, There's a guy in the snow. There's a guy in the snow. Not, oh my God, you need to get an ambulance here. You need to get cops here. The friend of mine, dear friend of mine, is out in the snow. We think he may be deceased. And oh my gosh, we need help. It's a fallen officer. All hands on deck. All the calls go out. Isn't that what normally happens when an officer dies? I'm just curious. I'm just curious. You people should be just absolutely ashamed of yourself. Somebody is above you, who's above them, who's above. Somebody needs to get in. Y'all need a reality check up there in Massachusetts, okay?
They are not suspects in any crime. They are merely witnesses in the case. To have them accused of murder is outrageous. To have them harassed.
Oh my God, to have him accused of murder is outrageous. Yeah, just accuse his girlfriend without even doing any investigation whatsoever. And then because you have absolutely no proof that Karen Reed did this, and these people have their stories and they've changed them how many times? Karen Reed's never changed her story. You know what they say about liars, right? I mean, it's kind of like Brennan standing up in court right now. I'll get it for you, Judge. He overspeaks. He makes everything the wrong thing. She takes it all at face value and believes him unless somebody stands up. Mr. Yannetti, he seems to be one of the most honorable men I've seen in a courtroom. Very quiet, very thorough. And to have him accused of doing anything wrong, Brennan, you need to have yourself wiped all over the road. You disgust me. But y'all yahoos, go ahead. Go ahead.
And intimidated based on false narratives and accusations is wrong. They are witnesses doing what our justice system asks of them.
Oh, that's the other thing.
The
Yeah,
autopsy.
I'm so sorry. The other thing is asked of them. The other thing, right? So while Jennifer McCabe is on the phone, while Karen Reed is trying to save John O'Keefe's life, or she's up running around screaming because she thinks he's dead. Is he dead? Is he dead? Oh my God, is he dead? And then runs back over, tries to help again. And she is a total mess. And the whole while you have Jennifer McCabe on the phone already starting the narrative. Let's not forget that.
John O'Keefe was conducted by a forensic pathologist from the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner. The doctor found that the injuries that left John helpless in the cold were not a result of a fight. She further found that the line of abrasions on his arm was consistent with blunt trauma, not an animal attack.
And she was also told that it was an automobile. I think she was told he was hit by a car, right? He was hit by a car. Y'all let her know that. And oh my goodness, if you could have just put a little bit more pressure on her, you'd have got that changed because she wouldn't call it, would she? Nope. And blunt trauma can be from an animal attack. They have pretty sharp claws. You should see my arm when they get me. I have an old skin, so now used to you just see claw marks. Now you just blood just on my arms. So don't let your dog come and love on me if he's going to scratch my arm. But no, have you? I can't with these people. I can't. I can't.
A grand jury of everyday citizens heard the documented evidence and testimony before making a decision. The subject of that murder indictment enjoys the constitutional presumption of innocence. Why should the witnesses who have committed no crime be afforded less by members of the community? They should not be harassed for telling the government what they heard or saw. I'm asking the Canton community and everyone who feels invested in this case to hear all the actual evidence at trial before assigning guilt to people who have done nothing wrong. and certainly before taking it upon yourself to harass citizens who evidence shows have done nothing in this matter but come forward and bear witness. We try people in the court and not on the internet for a reason. The internet has no rules of evidence. The internet has no punishment for perjury. And the internet does not know all the facts. Conspiracy theories are not evidence. The idea that multiple police department, EMTs, fire personnel, the medical examiner, and prosecuting agencies are joined in or taken in by a vast conspiracy should be seen for what it is, completely contrary to the evidence and a desperate attempt to reassign guilt. Michael Proctor.
Wow, a desperate attempt to reassign guilt. So right there, is he saying that Karen Reed is guilty? Is that what he's telling the public right there? A desperate attempt to reassign guilt, right? And it's called corruption. Why do you people think it's a conspiracy? Or is a conspiracy the same as corruption? I don't know. You guys are corrupt. Y'all are all dirty. I don't know whose bed you're in and who's on top, but whoever it is, they need to take a fall down to reality. Somebody needs to put a check on them. Somebody does. They need to put a check. Check mark, you're done, go to prison. Somebody's got the goods. Somebody needs to spell it out. And oh my God, now we're going to talk about Morrissey. I mean, he's Morrissey. We're going to talk about Crocker.
The state police trooper being accused of planting evidence outside 34 Fairview Road was never at Fairview Road on the day of the incident. Proctor and his state police partner traveled together the entire day while other officers were processing 34 Fairview. Trooper Proctor was not there and did not plant evidence at 34 Fairview Road.
But he was at the Sally Port. He did get the car, and it did have busted taillight transported back by somebody because it wasn't there when it was barely snowing. It wasn't there until you had what, 6 more inches or 10 inches of snow by then, because it was pouring down pretty good. You go right ahead there. Go right ahead.
In addition to having no opportunity to plant the evidence, as has been suggested, Proctor would have no motive to do so. Trooper Proctor had no close personal relationship with any of the parties involved in the investigation and had no conflict. And he had no reason to step out of this investigation. Every suggestion to the contrary is a lie.
Really? Really now? Really? Except Proctor's wife, wasn't it Jill Daniels that she drove up to the waterfall? I mean, to oh, that pizza joint that Chris Albert owns, so that Jill Daniels could jump out of the car looking like a crazed woman. You know, like you've seen some of these meth addicts, they look like crazed people, and just coming right at him and yanking his phone away from him and carrying on. Yeah, that Trooper Proctor. Oh, and his wife. Oh, and his sister is real good buddies with somebody, and the Proctor family considers the McAlberts to be family. And he and Colin were in a wedding together. And Colin remembers him from when he was a kid, but as he got older and when he questioned him, well, it was kind of different when he questioned him because it was more like he was being professional. Go ahead. Tell me some more. Go ahead. I'm ready.
This should be seen for what it is and not used as a pretext to attack and harass others. What is happening to the witnesses, some with no actual involvement in the case, is wrong.
It's
It is
wrong.
contrary to the American values of fairness and the constitutional value of a fair trial. It needs to stop now. I am releasing this recorded statement rather than holding a news conference because my remarks need to be so narrowly tailored to the issue at hand while the prosecution is pending in Superior Court. But the message is the same. What is happening to these innocent people, these witnesses, is wrong and it needs to stop. This will be the first statement.
Oh, it needs to stop. It needs to stop. Man, I am so pissed off. I wish I could do something to help. I mean, really, where, who do you call? Who do you call? Who do you talk to? And they tell you to trust the legal system, right? Trust the legal system. So, Mr. Brennan, and I do know that at the time you are referring to Turtle Boy, who was doing investigations into the death of Officer John O'Keefe, and he was calling people out because it didn't make sense. None of it made sense. And he was asking them to just tell the truth. That's still all he says is tell the truth. That's all he says. Because they can't. When you change your story after every time that you go to a grand jury and you're answering different and you got to see the transcript because you don't know what you said the last time or what you said here and there, means you got a problem. If you can't remember what you're saying, do you honestly think it's true? Oh, unreal. Unreal. Okay, so we're just going to listen to Brennan one more time and then I'm going to end this one because I've got a lot of research to do. I've had it. And by the way, if I can be of any help, I'd work for free.
The order wouldn't apply to the defendants.
The ongoing, deliberate, purposeful poisoning of the potential jury pool is not only wrong and unfair.
Given the state's legal tradition regarding free speech and televised court proceedings, gag orders are rarely used. But NBC 10 legal analyst Michael Coyne says it's not out of the question in this.
Okay, so that's it. I just want to say it again. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. Just it honestly, it's like I'm gonna wake up and find out that you know what? I had an epiphany, and what it is the biggest hit movie ever to be, and I'm going to be a 10 times over millionaire because no one could have come up with this kind of crock. Nobody. I mean, you can't make this up. If you could make this up, it would have been in the movies long ago. You just can't. No, no. So somebody out there needs to, really, you people need to really, if you're going to present the news, present it correctly. Stop siding with the Commonwealth. Start calling it like it is. And maybe some of you people that are reporting might want to get involved and research it yourself instead of just bits and pieces. Because if you're only getting bits and pieces, well, you're missing a whole lot. All right. So I hope y'all don't mind my rant. I just was livid. And the livid part was when I listened to Brennan on the stand the other day, I had heard about this. I knew about this. I'm still catching up on everything that happened pre trial 1.0, going into trial 2.0. I wouldn't be so far behind if I didn't have so many other responsibilities. But I am so furious. And I don't even know Karen Reed and her family, and I'm furious for them. And I'm also furious for Officer John O'Keefe. That when's anybody going to call these people out for the lack of investigating his death? Where is the help? Where are other law enforcement people? Y'all tell me that you would accept this crap? If it were your brother in blue next to you that this happened to, and they're trying to railroad it like this shoddy report, and they don't even have a picture of the supposed murder weapon until it could have been compromised. And you know what, Beverly? It does make a huge difference. Makes a really huge difference. They ain't got no pictures of that tail light until after the person. Oh, I'm so mad. I can't. The examiner came to inspect it, and you're so full of shit. And as far as evidence on Officer John O'Keefe, we'll get there next. Y'all are full of it. Somebody needs to step in and take this case out of your hands. They really do. Somebody needs to take this case out your hands. I don't know who's watching, but somebody needs to help Massachusetts. You people have issues, and you're in our country. This is our country. This is our country. It's the United States of America, and it's my country too. Stop. Just stop. Y'all try to be nice humans. I'm so angry. I do apologize that I may not come off very nice right now. I will have more to say.